Okay. So, as usual, I'm going to update you guys in terms of the national, state, and local situation. And then we're going to talk about some specific issues that have changed as of mid-morning today. As of this morning, there are now 44 states affected and a total of 1,138 confined, probable, and confirmed cases. Here in Imperial County, we have 22 confirmed and 18 probables. That's one more probable than we had yesterday. And once again, in case you don't recall, the definition of a probable case is a non-subtypable influenza A. It's a technical definition. At the national level, 99% of cases as confirmed cases. Once again, we're making the same recommendations to the public that we make during regular seasonal flu regarding washing your hands, covering your cough, and staying home if you're ill, and only seeking medical attention if you feel that it's necessary. We're not recommending the use of masks for the general public. One thing I'm sure everyone is anxiously awaiting is the issue regarding school dismissals. This morning at about 10 o'clock, I received an email, as did everyone else, that Secretary Sebelius and their Department of Health Services, which includes CDC, have reviewed the ongoing data that we've been collecting across the country, and they've now determined that this appears to be behaving very much like seasonal flu, and therefore they have relaxed the guidance regarding school dismissals and closures. They no longer feel that it is necessary for us to close schools or dismiss students for single cases, and have left it up to the local jurisdictions to review each individual situation and make decisions. They've also allowed us in that guidance to reopen schools if we feel that it is appropriate. Because of that guidance, I have been in contact with our counterparts at the various school systems whom I had originally notified about my recommendation, and have told them that based on my review of their situations that they can reopen their schools if they choose to do so. And of course we have officials from the schools who can speak to that if you have specific questions. So based on that review, then the plan would be that we will be opening Hidalgo School in Raleigh, McKinley, Washington, and Sunflower Schools in El Centro, Kennedy Garden in Calexico, and the Migrant Head Start Center in Calexico as well. Likely, assuming that the schools are able to do so, they will reopen tomorrow, but once again I would ask the officials from the schools to actually answer that specific issue. Does anyone have any questions?
What's the name of the first school you said?
The very first one is Hidalgo School in Raleigh.
Does that mean this threat is completely over?
No, it does not mean that. What it means is that we now actually have enough information to feel that in general this is behaving like seasonal flu. We have thought that all along. When we've had information, it seems that is the way it's behaving. However, because of the fact that we weren't sure what was happening in Mexico, we wanted to fully protect the public, we took a very conservative position. What you have to keep in mind is that we are still collecting information. We still worry about certain groups. For example, people who are at high risk of complications, our elderly, our senior citizens, our small children, people who have medical conditions, for example, women who are pregnant, people who have diabetes, asthma, they are at risk of complications of flu. And since we don't yet have a vaccine for this particular virus, we still want to protect them as much as possible. It is still possible that if we have more cases, that we may once again recommend other situations whereby we might recommend closing a school or dismissing students. However, now it wouldn't necessarily be based on a single case, but what's actually happening in that particular case. So what they've essentially done is allowed us to assess the actual risk that's occurring and make a decision based on that, as opposed to just assuming that there's a single case that's necessary to close or dismiss. No other questions?
Only about the schools, are they going to be open tomorrow? At least the ones from Calexico?
Good afternoon. Let me start first by just taking this opportunity to both thank and commend the officials of the public health department. As you know, these are uncharted waters that we are all navigating with H1N1. We believe, as does the health officials, that the way this virus is behaving is very similar to to other strains of influenza, and so therefore we will treat it accordingly. To answer your question in terms of Kennedy Gardens Elementary School, we have already begun the process of notifying parents that school will be open tomorrow, and we hope to have everything back to normal as quickly as possible.
Let me just make one thing clear. This is the general recommendation regarding dismissal and closure. We still want children who are ill to stay home. So this is allowing the children who are well to come back, but the same public recommendations are in place, because if you are sick, if your children are sick, then you should stay home.
And the migrant Head Start program, will that start back up as well?
And again, because the Migrant Head Start program is not a part of Calexico Unified School District, I'll let the representative, Mr. Martinez, talk about the migrant program.
Good afternoon. I also would like to express my appreciation to the County Health Department, the way they mobilize the resources and were able to get work to us. We are also in the process of notifying families, and at this point do plan to open for services tomorrow. Our season was pretty much at the end for us, and so we were scheduled to close Thursday. Was going to be our last day for the season anyway, but at this point we do plan to provide services tomorrow and Thursday to the families.
Mr. Grossbeck, were the state tests affected with the closure of this school, the Kennedy Garden?
No, because the window for testing